correct me if I'm wrong, but you were a part of one of the top three teams in the world?
Yes, it was crazy. I was in middle school, and my teammates were seniors in high school and going off to college. They just took us under their wing and really like looked after us and took care of us. And it was great. It was weird though, just being so young. I think the first year I was on the team, I didn't truly understand how insane it was to be on
Yeah.
that team because I was like, oh, I'm on this team now. Yay. Not realizing that this is people's biggest dreams.
Today, we're excited to welcome a world champion athlete to the Athletes Doing Good podcast. I've been following this young woman's profound journey and thankful to have our mutual friend, David Vivora, with Adaptive Training Foundation, introduce us. We're honored to welcome Miss Michaela Noble.
Hello.
Welcome. Thanks
How
for
are
Thank you so
you?
joining
much.
us.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm
We're
so
so
excited.
excited. So you started this sport cheer when you were just 10 years old.
Yes.
Where did your passion for cheer come from?
I started in gymnastics like a lot of young girls, I think. I did all the sports and any sport with a ball I was not very good at. So I asked to join gymnastics and I only liked the tumbling part of it. So my parents quickly realized that's cheerleading. So I joined a small gym in Indianapolis, Indiana, which is where I was born and raised. Super small gym. The high school cheer coach was like the owner of the gym. So I started cheer there, and then moved to Dallas a few years after that.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
when your family moved to Dallas, you joined what I read, Cheer Athletics in Plano.
Yes.
And it was the Cheetahs, is that correct?
Yes. Yes. That's the name.
And so tell us a little bit about like cheer in Texas, because everything we see, everything we read, I mean, Texas is bigger with everything. So I'm
Yes.
assuming same with the cheer.
Yes, absolutely. Cheerleading is like a whole different world than a lot of other sports. It's a smaller, sport, so the higher you get, like the on the levels, the higher you get, the more people you kind of know and connect with. So the level that she does is at, and that I was quickly on, is the highest level that you can get. It's where all the collegiate athletes are, and you're kind of brought into the spotlight on social media and in the sport. Quickly, I joined that team when I was 12, so it was a whirlwind of emotions and everything being on that team because I didn't even try out for that team.
Wow.
I tried out for a team a level lower, and I didn't even know if I was good enough to make that level. So it was a complete shock when I made that team. But the coaches just saw a lot of potential in me, and thought I was ready for the team and ready to grow and take that big step. So cheerleading is huge and it's gaining popularity all over the world. They're starting to put it in the Olympics, which is super exciting. Um, and I'm so fortunate that in Dallas, cheer athletics is one of the biggest gyms in the world. And the Dallas location is the biggest and the best one. So it's such a blessing to live 45 minutes from it, which is not that far of a drive. So I grew up at that gym from ages uh, 12 to 17, you know, um, grew up amongst a lot of older collegiate athletes being my teammates, which is a unique dynamic that a lot of people don't get. We actually housed some of the collegiate athletes during the season too. So we just had people in and out of the house from the gym, and it just became an extended family for me.
I think from we had cheerleaders in our family, and I
Okay.
don't think people truly understand.
Mm-mm.
Right? She's like, "Mm-mm, nope. Truly understand the grit, the tenacity, the strength. I mean, there's so much that goes into it.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a completely different world. And when you think of cheerleading, you think of Bring It On or sideline cheerleading, which I did that too, and I loved it. But competitive cheerleading is a whole different world that a lot of people have no idea about.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you were a part of one of the top three teams in the world. I
Yes.
mean,
Yeah.
what is that level of competition like? That's crazy. That's like best of the best.
Crazy. Yes, it was crazy. Again, when I started, I was in middle school, and my teammates were seniors in high school and going off to college and in college. So it was just so weird, and it could have gone so many wrong ways. But I was amongst a couple other young girls that were the Flyers, obviously, and they just took us under their wing and really like looked after us and took care of us, and it was great. It was weird though, just being so young. I think the first year I was on the team, I didn't truly understand. I think I was just so young too. I didn't truly understand how insane it was to be on
Yeah.
that team because I was like, oh, I'm on this team now, yay. Not realizing that this is people's biggest dreams to be on this team or just at this level. It's amazing. It's crazy to look back on.
I'm watching some of the videos that you've posted on your social channels. It's amazing.
Ridiculous. I
Yeah,
don't know how I don't
yeah,
know how we do it.
yes. I don't either. I don't either. But I think for you, if people don't know your story, take us back to September 20th of 2021. Here you are coming off of these great accomplishments. Um, Fast forward to that day and walk us through what happened, what you remember, how you felt.
Yeah, I remember everything, which is crazy. Because a lot of people that are in traumatic events, kind of block out that period. Your body does it, or um medicines and everything does, but I remember everything, which is crazy. So September 20th, 2021, I was in high school still, and I did school cheer, like I said earlier. I did it for fun, just to be a part of something in high school, and a lot of my friends from cheer athletics, the gym, and other gyms around us also did competitive cheer. So we had a really good school cheer team, sorry. And so we had an outside practice, like we scheduled a practice just us kids because it was the week of homecoming. And so we have like in our small town, the like homecoming is super big and we have like a huge pep rally and like a parade through the city. It's adorable. It's something like out of a movie. Yes, it's something that like you always look forward to. Um, throughout the year and especially like back to school. So we decided that we were just going to schedule an extra practice because we needed to get in some time to work on the dance because the senior cheerleaders dance with the senior football players, which is super cute.
Fun.
We like the boys wear their jerseys and jeans and cowboy boots, and then us girls wear our uniforms and cowgirl boots. It's adorable.
Wait,
Exactly
wait.
what you think
So
of like a little Texas town.
do your uniforms have cowboy boots?
No, they don't.
Oh, okay,
Mm.
But
good.
during homecoming we'd get to dance with them. So it's
That's
something we
fun.
always look forward to. So
Fun.
yes, so we had an outdoor practice and it was in someone's backyard. And we were teaching the boys the dance, just going through it and everything. And then there was a part of the dance where we could do like little tricks with our partners. And so we were like going through different things, showing people like ideas of what they could do. And so me and one of my girlfriends who I've grown up with, and we've been friends forever and is such an amazing cheerleader. Um, we're just showing people things that they could do. And her and I went to do a flip to show the boys what to do. It was again super easy flip. I talk about it all the time and I don't mind sharing about what happened because it was an accident.
Mhm.
We are all highly trained and it was an accident. That's what it was. So, um, I'm sure you guys have seen this flip and people have seen it all over, but it's where someone puts their foot in the other person's hands, and I would like put my hands on her shoulders, and I do like a backflip, and she uses my leg to push off and
Yep.
give extra effort. So a lot of people do it if you can't do like a back tuck or a back flip or whatever. And a lot of the boys were doing it. It's again a normal flip, which is crazy. And sometimes frustrating,
Well,
obviously, that it was
considering what
something so simple.
everything you did.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that was something that was difficult too, is because of the level that I was at and the things that I was doing. It wasn't that got me injured. It was a simple flip in a backyard doing school cheer stuff that made me paralyzed from the chest down. So that there's been some difficult times with that, obviously. But the story is so much bigger than just what happened.
Right.
So
Love that you recognize that at your age.
thank you. It obviously took a lot of time, but I'm at a really good place now. We're getting close to 2 years coming up on it. But I'm in a really good place now, and really throughout the whole journey, I've haven't had to struggle as a lot of people in my situation has, because I've had such amazing community, and my family and friends are just God heaven sent. They're
Hmm.
amazing. And I've really just had a whole huge group of people just rally around me and really love on me and take care of me. So I'm super grateful for that.
I think from me outside looking in, right?
Yeah.
My dad went through, he had an allergic reaction to a med and ended up having to have a double amputation of
Wow.
both of his legs below. And and seeing the tenacity and the determination that he had to be able to eventually walk with prosthetics, and then being able to utilize that as part of his story, to be able to give back to others, to be,
I love that.
to be that, he always called himself the guinea pig. He was the amputee guinea pig that went to all of, the PT area PTs. And so the PT students could learn how to work with amputees. But
That's
as
amazing.
as an outsider watching your story, like, I couldn't help but relate it to my dad and being like, man, this girl, like, she just has grit, she has guts, she has determination, and she is going to utilize what happened to her to impact others.
Thank you so much. That means everything to me. It's it's something so much greater than a sport or an accident. Um, as hard as difficult as it is, I wouldn't go back and change it.
Hmm.
Just hearing stories from you and people online and running into people in the grocery store or if I'm traveling, it's moments like that where in my hard times I think back on and just realize this is God's plan for my life, and it's so much greater than me going to cheer in college and then end my cheerleading career after that and go on, I guess, what you would consider a regular life. I'm living a completely different life than I imagined or hoped for myself, but
Hmm.
I love my life.
I love that. It's so
Thank-
so crazy when you look back at what you thought that you were going to do at some point or have these goals, and you have your like own personal vision for your life, right? And it's
Absolutely.
crazy
Yeah.
when sometimes your faith you speak about a lot, God comes in and he slaps something in your face. You have a whole new plan, a whole new journey, a lot of times so much greater than we can imagine ourselves. Tell me a little bit about what faith and your community of supporters means to you in your healing journey. How has that helped you get to where you are?
Yeah. My relationship with God has been all the difference. I've always grown up a Christian and believed in God, but I think I took that relationship into my own hands the summer before my accident, which is just crazy looking at it all now. I got baptized and really started reading the Bible by myself and talking to God and understanding everything.
Reason for
Months, a
everything.
couple months, a couple months before my accident. So I was fully rooted in my faith before, and I think the most on fire for the Lord I'd ever been. Which again, God was preparing me for what was about to happen. And I talked about this before, but when my accident happened, like the moment it happened and I hit the ground and I realized I wasn't able to move, I had such the sense of peace, which is incomprehensible
Wow.
to even me, I guess. But I didn't try to move. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't yell. I laid there and just was kind of obviously in shock, but was talking to people normally in my normal voice, um, and was calm all the way, I think for over an hour. It wasn't until the ambulance when I cried because my mom was in there and the firefighters were in there and everything. And I cried because I had a big test the following day and they didn't understand how scary my college professor was. Yeah.
Oh,
And they're like, Michaela, like, it's okay. Like, y- he's gonna understand. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. Because this was my first college class I was taking. So
yeah.
I was obviously taking it very seriously. And I was like, we have 4 tests a year, and I'm missing the first one. Like, he's like, he doesn't care how sick we are, what's happening. Like, we have to be there. And they're like,
That was your
like,
focal point.
yeah. And so I started crying about that. And again, it's so silly now, but I like was getting really upset. Not the fact that I couldn't feel my toes, I
Oh my.
couldn't feel my tummy, like I couldn't feel anything. I couldn't move my arms. Not that I was in so much pain. It was that I had a test the following day. And the professor did not care, obviously.
Shocking.
Well, I'm glad to hear
Yeah,
that. I'm
yes.
glad to hear that. But you know what? It's one of those moments that like maybe the that was what you were concerned about for you to be able to laugh later.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Mhm.
Like of all the things for you to worry about, like that was it.
The least important
Right. Correct.
worry that should have been on my mind. Yes.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Share a little bit about we watched you with the Low Sister Conference with Sadie Robertson.
Yes.
And just speaking about finding hope, in the midst of hardships. I think first, what is it like being on a stage with that many people, and sharing that message? But can you tell our listeners a little bit about that message of finding hope in the midst of hardship?
Public speaking is exactly how it is and how you think it is. It's very nerve-wracking and scary. And when people ask me, do I enjoy it? It's kind of a hesitant response because I don't enjoy it because it gets me really nervous and scared. But again, it's the after effects and what people come to me with after that I'm like, okay, it's worth it. Um, and it's good to face your fears. And again, I'm an adrenaline junkie, so I love it, the fact after. But being on stage with Sadie is just, it was an amazing opportunity. And I'm so excited I get to go again and speak again this year in a
It's
couple
amazing.
months. I'm really excited about it. But Sadie's been someone I've looked up to since I was young. So first off, for her to even know of me and then to consider me a friend and ask to be on stage with her was just a dream come true. Sharing my hope hasn't really been a struggle of mine. I did social media again with the cheerleading following. I had done social media before and made content before. I'm a very open person, I guess. I'm not scared of people knowing what's going on with me. But vulnerability about my emotions and my mental health was something that I like locked away and put the key and threw the key away.
Mhm.
So when my accident happened, I knew I wanted to share my journey because there was first off there's 30 kids at that house when my accident first happened. And when anything happens, everybody's going to go on their phones and probably post about it on their social media or text people or post about it on their private stories. So I knew that the word would get out. And thankfully, I have a lot of people that love and care for me and obviously wanted to be updated and know what's going on. And I knew it was a very big and long recovery journey. So I asked my mom to take pictures and videos and keep people updated. So my mom created a Facebook page,
Mhm.
originally just for friends and family. You know, when something like this happens, the last thing you want to be doing is going through your phone and contacts and texting everybody individually. And when a lot of these things happen, people make pages like that. So she created a page just to keep friends and
I
family.
quickly found
Is
you.
that
That
is
is.
that that's what
Yep.
that's so funny.
Yes.
Yeah, it's again, it started out friends and family. And then a lot of people in the town found out about it again because it was homecoming week. Um, our town is small yet very, very large. Um, I live in the North Dallas area. I live in Prosper, but it's close to Frisco, and Frisco's I think, the biggest growing city in all of the US. Just so many corporations and people are moving to Dallas. So their little saying is small town but big heart. And it's definitely that. So the whole community kind of rallied around me in that page and followed me throughout that. And then the cheerleading community found out about it, competitive cheer. And as y'all know, anything with social media, it spreads like wildfire very fast. So there was like GoFundMe, and then my family was very active about me posting on the social media because I wanted it to be. My mom hates social media. So
Well,
it
she
took
didn't think
everything in her. Yeah,
she didn't
it
think
took
that.
everything in her to do it. I was like, please, like, I don't know why, but like I really want to share this, mom. And she's like, okay. And I think because I have handled my situation so well is one why my family shared it. Because if I was struggling a lot, it's something that I don't need to be posting. Really, we would just kind of keep it to ourselves and handle it. But I think because I handled it so positively, um, and just had so much faith in God and just trusted Him throughout this journey is why a lot of people grabbed onto it, and kind of connected to it and wanted to follow along.
That's so
Let's talk
awesome.
about our friend David.
I
Mr.
love David. I love him.
Talk a little bit about the Adaptive Training Foundation because I think the world of David and I think the absolute world of what he's doing and the impact that he's making through the Adaptive Training Foundation. And um,
Oh my
when
gosh,
I saw
yes.
you were there, like immediately I texted him and I was like, I can't believe it. And he was like, she's every bit as amazing as you think she is.
No.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
Yes.
He is amazing. I like consider him like my dad. He's the best. I text him almost every single day and just I love that man so much. ATF, Adaptive Training Foundation, is again, I think, such a God wink. 25 minutes from my house. Could it could be anywhere in the world and it's 25 minutes from my house, and it is a foundation where civilians and veterans or anybody who's been in a traumatic accident or born with any type of disability can go in and work out and learn how to work out using normal um, gym equipment. They have classes that I was a part of, and it's like 10 to 15 people, and you have a trainer that is working with you, then an assistant trainer, and then a plethora of volunteers and just amazing people who come in. And if you've been to the gym or just heard about it, you know just how special it is in there. It's not like a normal gym that you go into and everybody's kind of headphones on, focusing on themselves, or like a rehabilitation place where it's very kind of, I don't want to say depressing, but a lot of rehabilitation
Yeah.
places I've been to, especially with my
Mhm.
level of injury, where I go and everybody's in power chairs or wheelchairs or has brain injuries or whatever it may be, as sad as it sounds, it's very depressing and very, I don't want to say scary, but it's not a good energy. You don't walk out
Mhm.
of there or roll out of there feeling good. But ATF is the complete opposite. It is a gym you go in, they're playing music, and there's so many people there to welcome you, and everybody is just so open and wants to tell you about their story and what they've been through, and they want to hear about you and what you're going through. And it's really a place like no gym I've ever been to. I've been to a lot of gyms and I've been to a lot of places where I felt so at home, but ATF is just a whole new level of that. It's
And they push
I
you.
would live there if I could.
Yeah. They really push you. They push you to the max.
Yes, they do. It's a very strong gym, and you have to be mentally like ready to be challenged both mentally and physically. But again, being an athlete and wanting to not let my disability define me, it's the perfect place for me. If you are someone who has a disability or, struggles to work out or constantly finds excuses, you are quickly going to be changed about that because excuses have no place in there, which I absolutely love because I don't know, I just think it's funny. Like now I have every excuse in the world not to work out. Yet I like working out more now than I did before.
Yeah.
But it's funny, again, like my peers, when I went back to school, my friends, and people in my classes would be like, oh, I have a rolled ankle. Like, I can't work out for like 3 weeks. And I'm like, I'm going to work out after class. Like, I can't drive. I can't even open the door to get inside the gym. I can't even hold the weights. I have to use, gloves, but
Right.
I'm going to work out for a few hours. It's amazing. But the gym makes me want to go in there and work out and give my best and push me outside my comfort zone. And the vibe is just gravitating and it's so evident just from anybody who's been or just even on social media.
Can you tell
What
us about like that mental component? Because I feel like always, like even people when they get older, like I still feel young in my mind, or like things like that. What is it like? Do you still like you still feel like you can do everything you used to, but you're just limited? What is that
Yeah.
mental process? Like, how do you have the strength to keep
Ooh,
going? What's that like?
that's a really good question. I think that's like my favorite question I've ever been asked.
look at you,
Um,
Danica.
I
Ooh.
feel no, seriously. I'm like, oh, I want to write about this later. Um, that is so interesting because I feel both. Like I
Hmm.
am an 18-year-old girl and a teenager, and I still have a lot of energy and feel great. But also my body feels like an older person just because it's been through so much.
Hmm.
You know, I would say I feel older than I am just because I struggle with a lot of things. I mean, just it's crazy because it still feels like yesterday that I walked and lived a normal life and
Yeah.
went to school and just got in the car and everything. So it's interesting because I take a nap about every day and just because I'm tired. And pushing myself in a wheelchair with like not all the function in my arms
Yeah.
um is difficult and causes just a lot of tiredness. And so I feel young and I still act young. But I definitely have days where I just feel like an older person. Like sometimes I'm like, I feel like I'm retired. Like I told my mom that because I'm like, I feel like I'm retired because I don't really, especially now, I don't have to go to school. I
Hmm.
just kind of do some computer work, read a book, go to a coffee shop, take my afternoon nap, and then go outside, eat dinner, and then go to bed early. But I love it. It's interesting though. I've never really thought about that. That was such a good question.
But I think for you to say like you feel retired, think about what you're all doing. Like,
Yeah. You're doing a lot.
you're think about what you're all doing in a day. Not only from the physical aspect of it, but your social media platforms, your working out, your encouragement of others, your faith and your testament of faith. Like, I understand how you can think, how you might think that, but man, don't think that.
Okay. Thank you. I know. You just always feel like you can do more.
Right.
So And
Yeah.
we're our hardest critics on ourselves. But
Yeah.
no, I think I've said this a little bit, but never like made it official. But I've always wanted to be an author since I was little, and I'm writing a book about my whole journey and everything. So
That just gave
I'm
me
working on
goosebumps.
that a lot, which is
Oh,
amazing. What'd you say?
that just gave me goosebumps.
Oh, good. That makes me so excited. Yeah,
Yes.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it. In school, I always loved English and writing and storytelling. So, yeah, that's something I'm spending a lot of my time on, but working out is my
It's a
biggest
job.
priority, I
It's a
guess, right
job.
now. Yeah,
Yeah.
it
It's
is.
what
And then again, once I get home, my workout isn't an hour workout. I have a personal trainer I work out with that's from ATF. Um, and I usually end up working out close to 3 hours. So when I get home, I eat and then sleep because
yes.
I'm exhausted.
I love that. Tell us a little bit about your Max masterpieces.
Yes, that was quite a while ago. It was right after I was out of rehab. And just kind of, I couldn't really work out yet. I was still in a neck brace and a chest brace and just trying to find things that I enjoy doing that I may have not enjoyed doing before, but bring me peace and let me be creative and let me use my brain. So, um, during rehab, I really found out that I loved painting, and I wasn't very good at painting before my accident. My sister is the um, artistic one of the family, and I was more the athletic one, and didn't have much patience, so I didn't really enjoy art or painting or anything like that. But um, during recreational therapy, during rehab, I realized that I really liked painting. And that was one of the things I could do independently once I got set up with everything. So once I came home, I painted a lot. I thought it was really good for my mind, obviously, and then it was good for me to practice using my arms and my hands. It's crazy now to look back on videos where it looks like someone else's arms are on me and I'm trying to control them. How I had no control over my arms and my brain and my arms, like they were connected, obviously, but they were not connected. They did not look like they were connected. But Max Masterpieces was my paintings. And then again, we would do the daily updates on the social media on Facebook and Instagram, and I'd show my paintings. And by no means are they good. They were good for my situation, but people just really wanted them and were really just cheering me on for the painting and just loved them and thought they were awesome and wanted some of their own. So I was like, okay, well, I could do that because at the time, again, I wasn't working out and I just got home from rehab. So this is like a great activity for me to do to work on. Um, Physical function and just to give me something to do. So I started selling those paintings and they sold out every single time without like within the day. Like sometimes like I think one time they sold out within like 5 minutes and I had like 10 paintings up and I was just like, who would want these paintings? But people did and it was so cool to see pictures of people have my paintings hung in their house and I was like, that does not look good, but I'm glad you like it. Uh, but yeah, it was really fun. I still paint now, but once school started, and I did school cheer again, I got so busy that I didn't have time for that. But I still love painting.
So we ask last question. We ask all of our athletes who are on that.
Okay.
What does athletes doing good mean to you?
Ooh, I think athletes doing good to me means taking your God-given ability from God, and your athleticism and using it for good, using it for something maybe you're inspired by or passionate about, and using your platform that you've been given, that a lot of athletes have been given nowadays with social media, and using it for good. So it could be fundraising for the sport or women in sports or the youth or just giving back to their community or wherever they're from. I think that's so important and it's so cool. I love seeing athletes doing good with their money that they get, and just giving back to where they came from because we all started a lot of us started from a small gym or just something local like a local YMCA sport, and then made it to the big league. So I think it's really cool when people don't forget where they're from and give back to those people who started them out.
I love that. Well, you're definitely forever an athlete, Michaela, and you're always
Thank you.
doing good with your message now. And we're so excited to follow along on your journey and everything that you're going to continue to do and you're going to continue to shine.
Thank you so much.
Continue to do good, my friend.
I will.
All right.